This video is brought to you by Wix. What's up guys, Jared again. Everyone's been talking about it. Every message board, every Discord server, every major news publication. We've even dipped our toes in on Culture Binge. You've probably heard of the Storm Area 51 Facebook event, in which millions of net nerds ironically vowed to Naruto run their way into Area 51 on September 20th so they can finally see them aliens. Now, this is funny for a variety of reasons. There's nothing quite so satisfying as imagining some general at the Pentagon being briefed on what a group of Kyles is. But it's also a dark joke about gleefully signing up for what is essentially a suicide mission. Every 5 seconds, a new meme pops up on the Facebook event, ironically strategizing their entrance, taking inventory of vehicles and infantry, and of course, coyly commenting how people's commitment to irony may outweigh their desire to live. It's this last class of memes that got us thinking about a popular subgenre of memes dominating the land of posting. Depression memes. Whether it's people identifying with Bart Simpson as literally nothing hits him with a wave of incredible sadness, or a young boy being visited by Teletubbies labeled anxiety, depression, loneliness, and overthinking, depression memes seem to be millennials and Gen Zers' new form of free therapy. But the more we thought about it, the more we thought that maybe there's something else to it. That maybe depression memes can be considered the most modern development of a certain philosophical and psychological sentiment described over 150 years ago in what is considered one of the first existentialist stories. So welcome to this Wisecrack vlog on depression memes. And for the love of God, don't try to storm Area 51, please. But if you do, send me pics of them aliens. But before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to Wix. When we originally partnered with Wix, we began working on a new design for our website. Together, we were able to customize and personalize the design in a way that would showcase our formats best. Getting started with Wix is fun and you can use it for any occasion. From a school project to an online store, Wix has all the tools you need to make a professional and robust website. You can post your own music, curate your store, or just showcase your art. With Wix templates, customizing your unique website is intuitive. You don't even need to know how to code, so you can focus on showcasing your work. Wix also has the option to upgrade to a premium subscription, so you can get access to unlimited bandwidth, options to host longer videos, and so much more. So create your own website today by going to wix.com/wisecrack and get 15% off all yearly plans with the code Wisecrack15. And now, back to the show. So what is a post? There are a bunch of definitions out there that often include the idea that they're deliberately unproductive to online conversation, that they exist for their own sake, and/or are made hastily and in poor quality. But the definition we found most insightful comes from writer Gustavo Turner in Surface magazine. What is a post if not a pointless carnivalesque attack against meaning itself? Like every aesthetic that draws from the absurd, Dada, surrealism, situationism, punk, posting is ultimately a cry of despair against impending disaster. While Turner is apt in likening the post to various absurdist art movements, we instead find a very specific flavor of existentialism in the depression meme. It's our contention that this phenomenon of people posting memes about their despair is an extension of a philosophical and psychological sentiment immortalized by Fyodor Dostoevsky's novella, Notes from Underground. Or, more simply, the titular Underground Man is functionally a 19th century proto-poster. To find out what we're talking about, we're gonna have to dive into a little recap of the book. It portrays the curmudgeonly musings of the Underground Man, a tortured recluse who reminisces about a time he almost had an authentic connection with another human. It starts off with him proclaiming that he is sick, not because he's suffering from any physical ailments, but rather from hyper-consciousness, or an extreme, debilitating commitment to rationality. The first part of the book depicts his stream of consciousness as he weaves an intricate labyrinth of arguments about topics like reason, freedom, and European utopianism, before recounting an unpleasant interaction with his old schoolmate Zverkov. He eventually meets a prostitute named Liza, who he tries to redeem by telling her to change her ways. She's able to get him to open up for a little while, but he quickly turns back into an asshole and tries to humiliate her. As she leaves, he immediately regrets his behavior and runs after her, but she's long gone. The Underground Man has remained supremely relevant over time. Dostoevsky's metaphor of the underground was a major development in modern literature and continues to be referenced as an embodiment of rebellion against traditional value systems. Which is all well and good, but what does this extremely lonely and extremely miserable man have to do with people on the internet joking about the disposability of their lives via Area 51 memes? We think the state of despair propagated by depression memes overlaps with the sentiment of the underground man in 4 key ways. 1. Inaction. Both depression memes and the underground man emphasize despair over action. The point of posting a meme like the cat in a hat with the text "Millennials and Gen Z's willingness to die" sneaking up on a kid standing in for Area 51 thinking this is a joke isn't to inspire the masses to get off their computer and help millennials or Gen Zers by pushing for economic reform or greater public mental health options. These memes are often born out of reflecting on what seems like an impossible, hopeless situation with no particular orientation towards doing anything about it. The meme only offers a sense of identification with hopelessness. The futility of action is key. Likewise, much of the underground man's deep unhappiness is due to what he calls hyperconsciousness, or a paralyzing sense of awareness. He claims to be so aware that he sees both sides of any argument, so instead of choosing a side or defining himself through any meaningful action, he does nothing. He calls this conscious inertia. It was not only that I could not become spiteful, I did not know how to become anything. Neither spiteful nor kind. Neither a rascal nor an honest man. Neither a hero nor an insect. Now I am living out my life in my corner, taunting myself with the spiteful and useless consolation that an intelligent man cannot become anything seriously, and it is only the fool who becomes anything. Like our melancholy hero, depression memes are defined by a similar kind of inertia, a feeling of hopeless paralysis. 2. Like a good post, the underground man is kind of a troll. When he visits his old friend Zverkov, he knows that he and his friends don't like him, but tags along to a party anyway and acts like a drunken fool just to spread the misery around. Similarly, a depression post looks not only to express despair, but pervert the sunny optimism of traditional social media posts. If most people on Instagram are curating their social media personas to project an image of a perfect life with attractive, successful, and supportive friends, a depression meme looks to bring the grimy underbelly of feelings to the forefront. Think you're accumulating cultural capital by posting about your sweet beachfront vacation spot with your sexy rich family? F you, I eat depression for breakfast. 3. Like the underground man, a depression meme is a paradox. Part of what has made the psychological profile of the underground man so interesting and enduring is that he is constantly contradicting himself. He says he loves being isolated, yet he yearns for human connection. Similarly, a depression meme is a cry for help, yet a resignation to hopelessness. The underground man looks down on normal people like Liza and Zverkov, yet envies them. Not unlike how a depression meme is a condemnation of normiedom, yet a desire to live a life like theirs. Finally, the underground man suffers, but takes pleasure in it. And of course, people make depression memes for the lulz. Why, suffering is the sole origin of consciousness. Though I did lay it down at the beginning that consciousness is the greatest misfortune for man, yet I know man prizes it and would not give it up for any satisfaction. 4. Finally, both the underground man and posting represent a rejection of optimistic political ideas. The underground man spends a fair amount of time refuting ideas put forward by Nikolai Chernyshevsky's image of a utopia built out of a devotion to reason that he referred to as the Crystal Palace in his work, What Is to Be Done? Similarly, depressing memes are often a reaction to the post-Cold War 90s, a decade built on the promise of a better world. But to many, that didn't happen, and now we only look forward to sunny possibilities like climate catastrophes, war with Iran, and Silicon Valley ruining everything under the guise of disruption. Like the underground man, millennials and Gen Zers have grown up with the promise of a better future, only to be hit with sobering realities that have made us depressed. As such, depression memes will often co-opt positive elements of popular culture and impose sad realities on them via text. In doing so, it comments on the failure of these images to deliver any actual happiness, and the lie of positivity that they perpetuated. So, there you have it. The underground man is very much alive in the ethos of depression memes on the internet. But I want to emphasize here that depression and other mental illnesses are a very serious thing, and while some may find levity in these kinds of things, it's not cathartic for everyone. For what it's worth, I always remind myself of the book's end, where the underground man deeply regrets rejecting human companionship. Yes, the state of things might be dismal, and derailing meaning and trolling might give us the necessary dopamine hit to get through the day, but it's important that we don't give up on an incredibly important piece of a healthy psyche: human connection. And I just want to end this vlog with a quote from the text that will undeniably speak to anyone who's ever posted a depression meme. For we are all divorced from life. We are all cripples, every one of us more or less. We are so divorced from it that we feel at once a sort of loathing for real life, and so cannot bear to be reminded of it. Why we have come almost to look upon real life as an effort, almost as hard work, and we are all privately agreed that it is better in books. Thanks to all our patrons who support the channel and our podcast. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and before you go, I want to give another shout out to Wix. Create your own unique website today by going to wix.com/wisecrack and get 15% off all yearly subscriptions with the code Wisecrack15. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.